Hi friends, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show a peplum blouse sari draping. I got so many requests from you, so that is the reason why I'm doing this video. And even if you're not pregnant, you can follow all these steps and create this beautiful peplum blouse sari draping. Peplum blouse is what I'm wearing. You can see the top is like fitted, and as it comes down, it flows in a circle and it flares. So this kind of a blouse and sari draping is like very in trend right now. So I think that's why I got all these requests. So as usual, I'm starting with a very comfortable in skirt, and I have it all the way on top of my pregnant belly. You can have your in skirt below your belly button or above your belly button as you wish. And after that, you can start by tucking in your sari. When you're tucking in your sari, make sure your sari is just above the ground, and that is how it will look beautiful. The very basic and starting of the sari draping will be very similar to the usual sari draping techniques. You will tuck in your sari and like go around and all that thing. So that is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going my very first round, and then I go a second round. Don't worry if you are new here to my channel and see the second round and freak out. As the video progresses, you will notice what I do with the second round. This is how I drape. I don't say this is how you need to drape. This is how I do it and I like it. So I have already pleated my sari. If you want to know how to pleat a sari, I have the video in the description box, and also I will put it on the iCard. You can click that and learn how to pleat your pallu very perfectly. So once I'm happy with my pleating and everything, I have like pinned my sari to my blouse. Now what I'm doing is I'm just arranging the pleats because I'm going to pin it a little flat up. As you can see, I'm not like putting all the pleats one on top of the other. I'm just like flaring it up a little, and then I'm going to make a spin over there. Why I'm pinning it here is because to make sure it stays like this as long as I wear this sari. When you pin it, make sure you pin it horizontally, so it will help the flare stay up like that. So as you can see, it's like already staying real good. Now I'm taking the tuck that I've already made when I did the second round and bringing my pallu to my side and checking how it flows. So I want the flow to be quite lower than my blouse, but not so lower than my blouse. The place where I have pinned the sari, with that my sari is going to flow really low from my blouse. So what I am going to do next is change the pinning. So when you're draping your sari, you need to see how you're liking it and make the little changes that will make sure your sari is going to get accustomed to your body and to your liking. So what I'm doing here, as you can see, I'm just checking my blouse length and the flow of my sari. To make my sari go above, I need to change the pin a little above from where it has already been pinned. So once I do that, my flow of the sari will change and I can attain what kind of a flow, what length of the flow I want very perfectly. Also, you don't need to make the flare and pin it. You can always make it like a single pleat kind of a thing, the box pleat, and pin it. I like how it looked flared, so that's why I've been I did that flare to make sure my pink and red shows up. So once I have changed the pin, now what I'm doing is I'm just bringing the sari in front and I'm checking how it's going to flow, and also making sure my sari is like sitting on top of my waist and not making me feel uncomfortable. So I have tucked in the sari. Now comes the second part of the pinning. So here also you don't need to do all the steps that I am doing. You can just pleat the sari like a regular box pleat, and then you can pin it. But what I am doing is I'm taking my time and like making sure all my pleats are really aligned together. They are straight, the pleats are like not crumbled or anything. I'm making sure everything is set right and aligned together. And what I'm like slowly doing is I'm like separating the pleats and making sure it flares up little more than how it has been flared before, during the first part of the pinning. So as you can see, I'm just arranging the pleats, and also I'm just flaring it up. You can see I'm just pushing one pleat from the other pleat and making sure it goes like straight and it looks good. And this is how I did it. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to start pinning every single pleat separately. As you can see, I'm starting to pin starting from the very first two pleats, and I'm making sure I don't move my pleats because I have a pregnant belly. It's quite easier. What you can do is you can like lie all your pleats on top of a table or on the floor, and then like I think top of a table would be better because you have already like draped your sari. So what you can do is you can just drape it on a table and then like pin your pleats separately. That I think that should be easier. So, and my pregnant belly is acting as a tabletop for me, and I'm pinning all the pleats like so. How I'm doing it is like I'm pinning first and second pleat together, and the second and third pleat together, and third and fourth pleat together. You get the idea. So I'm going to like pin every single pleat separately so it stays like that till I take off the sari. Please be careful while you are pinning your saris. Make sure you use a very quality and sharp safety pin so you won't damage your sari, and it'll be easier. So once you're done pinning, this is how your sari will look. This is going to give a flared look, and you can also use needle and thread and sew on your pleats if you really like to do that. And once you're done, you can see how the sari is like flared and staying up. As the next step, what I'm doing is I'm bringing the pallu side of the sari and like tucking it onto my waist so that it won't move. And the next part, I'm going to start pleating the sari as usual. So I'm going to pleat the sari in a fast forward motion. And if you like to learn how to pleat your sari perfectly, I have a separate video for that. I'll definitely put it in the description box and also in the iCard, so you can like click and learn how to pleat your waist pleats very perfectly. And you can also learn from another video that I will also put in the description box, like how to pleat from your right side and also from your left side. Once I'm happily done with my waist pleating, I'm pinning the like waist pleat, and then I'm going to tuck my sari in. Before doing that, what I'm doing is I'm making sure my pallu and the flares that I've pinned is like aligning right, and I'm making sure it is flowing right like how I like it. And then I'm going to start like tucking it in, and I'm showing you how it flows. It is not going to be like perfect at this point of time, so just make sure it is flowing right. And then tuck in your sari at your waist, making sure your sari is like tucked in straight to your belly button. When if you're pregnant, don't worry about it being like very straight to your belly button or something. Like tuck it in where it is comfortable for you. So once you're done tucking it in, now you can see the loop just like falling along your butt or back. So you can just start like tucking in your sari. As this is a peplum blouse, it's going to like hide a lot of things. So don't be worried if it is not looking very neat and like tucked in very crisp and clear. So as you can see, I have just tucked in, and don't worry about that part. And if you're worried that it would show below your blouse, you can just like did what I did by like flaring it up. And what I'm doing here is I'm just like making sure my blouse looks good and everything is fine. Now at this point, I'm again like making sure my pallu is like flowing just like how I want it to flow. And throughout the video, you would have seen me like making sure it is flowing right and good. And then I'm slowly bringing the back of my sari up, and then I'm going to tuck it in without destroying the flow or anything. You can see I'm like doing it very slowly. I didn't fast forward it because I want you to see how slowly I'm doing it. Also, I'm making sure the flow is really right, and then I'm measuring up how long my flow needs to go on the side, and then I'm pulling the rest of the pleat and then starting to tuck it onto my waist on my left side. So once I start tucking it in, it's not going to be shown, so don't worry about it because our blouse is going to almost like cover up most of the border. So as you can see, it is looking good and fine. Now I'm again like making sure my pallu is like looking good, and when you turn around, you can see how the flow goes. And I didn't even tuck in the pallu on the back of my sari. It's just there, and this is how it will look in the back and also from the side. This is how it's going to look. So you're almost done. If you have any other pleats or anything looking imperfect, you can correct everything at this point. As I always say, every sari is different, every body type is different, each and every sari is going to be draped on certain body types differently. So always when draping, play with your sari. If there is some imperfection, see how you can correct it. If you follow all these steps, it's going to be 90% perfect, and the rest 10% is like you need to find and correct the mistakes that happens because of the sari type and because of your body shape. Because my body shape and like sari is certain way, it drapes this way. Your sari won't be like draping in exactly the same way. So yeah, you will figure out, don't worry, once you start draping you will figure it out. So once you're done draping, this is how your sari is going to look. This is how my sari is looking right now. It's really good and I'm so happy about it. In my next video, I'm going to share how to drape a Onam set to sari when you're pregnant. So keep tuned in for that video. Click the notification bell so you won't like miss out any of my videos. I'll catch you in my next video. Until then, be kind to one another. Bye bye. With love, Sindhu.